to Betty's Cooking Channel. Today I'm going to prepare some low-carb bread. I have made this. This is not my recipe. I didn't create it. I found it on the internet. It was last updated May of 2017. So I'm not sure who this recipe belonged to, but I have tried it and it is a good recipe. And I'm used to baking bread. I used to bake bread all the time before I turned keto. So I'm going to show you how I will make this recipe. But again, it's floating all over the internet. Everybody has made it. So I just wanted to bring something to my channel that you might like. But I must suggest that, don't eat bread every day. Don't eat this bread every day. Eat it every once in a while, okay? Because it is low carb, but you eat in moderation, okay? So let me get started. I'm gonna microwave 1 cup of water for 45 seconds. So let me do that. Oops. 45 seconds. I just took the water out of the microwave. I'm gonna go ahead and add the 1 teaspoon of honey in this water here. Okay, that's about 1 teaspoon. And I'm gonna mix it up. This is the honey I'm using. Okay, and that yeast will eat up that sugar, so don't worry about that. I'm gonna mix it up. And notice here I have my dough hook on my mixer here. That's what I always use. This is what I'm using. I'm using 1 pack of Active Dry Yeast. That's what I'm gonna use. I'm not gonna use the measurements they have in the recipe because like I said, I used to make bread all the time. So this is what I would use when I make bread. So, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pour this honey and water in here. That way to help it cool off. The water should be just nice and warm where you can stick your finger in there and not worry about, the water being too hot. The water should be just warm, okay? It's still a little too warm right now, so I will wait a few seconds for that to cool off. Okay, this is what the water, honey, and yeast look like in the mixer here. So I'm gonna give it about 10 minutes for it to bubble up a little bit, okay, before I go to the next stage. The yeast is ready, so let me add the other ingredients. I added 1 tablespoon of Erythritol, 1 more. I'm going to add the 2 eggs. That I am changing a few things. I don't like real sweet bread, so that's why we got 3 tablespoons of Erythritol. Okay, this is a half a cup of oat fiber. Again, that's a half a cup of oat fiber. I will be adding a little more because it needs to be 2/3 of oat fiber. Okay, that's 2/3 of oat fiber. Actually, that's supposed to have been a half a cup. a half a cup of oat fiber, but I ended up putting 2/3 in there, so hey, it'll make it a little bit different. Okay, all right, go ahead and add the flax seeds. It's supposed to be 2/3 cup of flax seeds. Okay. That's 2/3 of flax seeds. And I use 1 cup of Golden Flax Seed. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add 1 cup right now. And I'm used to using gluten. I used to make vegan meat all the time, so I'm very familiar with Vital Wheat Gluten. Okay, and got that in there. I use a 1/4 of a cup. So I use a 1/4 of a cup. That would be all. That would be 1 1/4 cup of Vital Wheat Gluten in this recipe. Add 1 teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of unsalted room temperature butter. Go ahead and add that in there now. Okay, that butter. Okay, let me just raise it up a little bit. I'm gonna let it run a little bit longer because the person made a note on the recipe 2017, and they said that you should try to knead the dough for at least on. Even though it has come together, it's not sticking to the outside of the bowl here. So that means everything was mixed pretty well. I know one thing, when it has done its job, my mixer will start kind of moving itself, so I'm kind of holding on to it right now. So I did change some of the ingredients in this recipe, and I will have it on my website, the exact measurements I use for this bread. Oops, it's jumping again. Okay, I just cut it off. So now, notice when I pulled the hook up, the bread just falls off of there. That's that gluten in the bread that's doing that. So let me add a little olive oil to the bowl, and I'm gonna cover it for about 45 minutes. Some olive oil to the outside of it. See, it's not sticking to my hands, and that's what you want. Okay. Seitan is made with Vital Wheat Gluten. So it's warm in here today, so I'm not gonna stick it in the oven. I usually stick it in the oven or microwave. I don't turn on the microwave or anything, but it's considered a hot box, and it's already warm in this kitchen today, so I don't have to do that. So what I'm gonna do is just cover it with a clean shower. Oops, that's what I just did. So I'm gonna leave it covered on the counter here to about 45 minutes. Alexa, set a timer for 45 minutes.
45 minutes, starting now.
Thank you. I allowed the dough to rise for 1 hour instead of 45 minutes. So now I'm gonna punch it down. This is how I make my bread. I'm gonna punch it down, and then I'm gonna put it on a cookie sheet instead of a loaf pan. I could put it in a loaf pan, but I'd rather not. See how I'm turning the dough under? That's how I make my bread, you know. Sometimes I'll roll it out and then turn it under like this. Okay. So I'm gonna make a very long loaf of bread. And when I make my buns, I do the same thing. I tear it off and just kind of push it under itself like that. And it's not sticking to my hands or anything. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna place it on cookie sheet over here, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. Let's take this up. Okay, here's my loaf of bread here. And I'm not gonna cook it in the bread pan. Like I said, I'm just gonna leave it as a loaf here. And I'm gonna take a knife and I'm gonna score it. Okay, so I scored the bread. Now I'm gonna take 1 egg, add it to a little bowl here with some egg white. And I'm gonna add the egg white to the bread. You can make rolls out of this, whatever you want to make, pizza, whatever. Okay, so much for the egg there. Okay. And let me get something to clean it up. Now I'm gonna add my sesame seeds to the bread. I decided to cover my bread, my dough, under my microwave cover for 30 minutes. I'm going to remove this from the bread. That's what it looks like. And I'm going to go ahead and place it in a 375-degree oven for 20 to 25 minutes. I just took the bread out of the oven. It cooked for 25 minutes. And hear the sound on it? It's very hollow. So I'm gonna let it cool off and I'm gonna taste it. I'll let you see me taste it. Go ahead and cut the bread, and I'm gonna take a piece of it. I'm gonna cut it right down the middle. I mean, it's really, really soft. Really beautiful bread. Let you see it. Let you see what it looks like. Isn't that some beautiful bread? This is our baked bread I used to all the time. Okay, I'm gonna add a little butter to this. Give me a minute. It is so soft. And it looks delicious. See there? All right, I'm gonna taste it. Let me change the camera view. Okay, let me taste this bread. It is delicious. Now I changed the recipe a little bit, so make sure you look up the recipe on my website, www.bettye, B-E-T-T-Y-E, Burnett, B-U-R-N-E-T-T.com. That's where the true recipe will be for this bread. Even though there's a lot of versions of this recipe, like I said, on YouTube, on the internet, but this is a very good low-carb bread. So try it. See what you think. That is so good. So good. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, and share this video with your friends and family. Have a wonderful day.